Where do these criminal gangs who are doing all these stabbings in London, where do they get their weapons? Well, most of the time, they just walk into the kitchen and take a knife out of the top drawer. Like this. This is probably the number one kind of knife that is used in crime, followed by utility knives. Occasionally you might see a lock knife like this, you know, your general purpose outdoor knife, EDC knife, camping, fishing, whatever. These will occasionally be used in crime as well. And if you've been watching the news recently, when the police are doing these weapon sweeps, they sometimes also find knives like these just in random locations, waiting to be used, as they like to say. And you know what? And even more recently, they've been using screwdrivers, as we've seen in London recently, where the two guys tried to burgle the old man. And from time to time, we also hear of an axe attack. If you notice here, none of these are military weapons. None of these are weapons of war, as Sadiq Khan likes to put it. None of these are meant for stabbing. They're not hunting knives. They're not even camping knives. They're just general purpose knives that, you know, these things here, every single one of you has these items. You might not have a lock knife like this, but I'm more than willing to bet you have everything, maybe not the axe, but everything else. We all have these items lying around. These weapon bans that are on the table at the moment aren't going to stop a damn thing. Look, most of these items here you can just walk in a shop and buy them, and I'm not suggesting we change the law to stop that. That's ridiculous. These are things that a lot of us need. I mean, what are we going to do? Introduce a background check for a hand axe or something? Or a utility knife, or even a kitchen knife? Well, this is getting a bit insane, don't you think? We need to just take a step back and stop introducing new laws, because they're not doing anything but punishing the wrong people. Now, from time to time, they also use machetes. So something like this. I got mine online. That's not to say there isn't other ways of getting them. At the moment, B&Q has, I'm not entirely sure what they are. I think they're some kind of bill hook by Fiskars. They'll do the exact same job as this. And even a tool like this is not meant for hacking someone's head off. This isn't meant for thugs to stab each other. No, this is for gardening. This is for chopping plants like rhododendrons, or chopping the limbs of trees, not the limbs of people. Same with axes. These tools are used probably every single day in this country to deal with like a rhododendron. I know this because I used to do it. I used to volunteer at a place where they had to deal with rhododendrons, and this is the kind of tool that you have to use. Same with brambles, and of course many people have brambles in their garden, which is a type of thorny plant which grows a fruit on it. I think it's some sort of berry, and this is the kind of tool you would use to manage a plant like brambles or rhododendron, or any other kind of shrub or bush or tree. These are the kind of tools that you use. Like I said, I used to do it, and a lot of the time I would take in my own tools. To be honest, a lot of the people at these kind of places, they don't know what they're doing with these tools, so the tools are in bad condition, they don't get maintained. So it's helpful to both the person who's volunteered their service and the estate is taking on the volunteers if the volunteers take their own tools. Saves them money. And I mean, like I said, the criminals are also using screwdrivers. I mean, are we really going to try and like license screwdrivers? Are we going to ban the online sale of screwdrivers? Everything here, well, except the machete and the lock knife, these are the kind of things that's commonly used in crime. Now, very rarely are you going to see a high-end knife. Now, you might see low-end fixed blades, you know, survival knives, cheap shitty Rambo knives, you know, knives that cost £30 or under. Those are cheap nasty knives, and I don't like them myself. For zombie knives, as I like to say, zombie knives. So you might say, okay, we'll just ban these cheap knives. Well, hang on, that's not dealing with the issue. The issue is the person's intent. You have to tackle the intention, not the tool, because they'll just go into something else. I mean, even though they've banned zombie knives now, you can't have them. That's not stopping people stabbing each other with kitchen knives now, is it? And by the way, there is actually a doctor in Scotland. I think the guy's in Glasgow. He wants to ban pointy kitchen knives. How mad is that? This guy actually. I mean, how are we going to make our dinner? How are we going to eat our steaks without pointy knives? This is absolutely ridiculous. And I hate to tell you, but it's not that difficult to make a knife. Pretty easy, in fact. I mean, I could make a butter knife razor sharp with a very fine point on it. So if I wanted to, I could do that within a few hours. And you can turn any old piece of steel into a knife. This is a really shitty job, but it's a knife nonetheless. This is homemade. It only took me a few hours. This will do the same job as this. Doesn't really matter that it ain't that sharp. The point is, it's got a point. You can clearly see it's homemade. Pretty shit, isn't it? But that's not the point. Bad people will always do bad things. Just remember that.